Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our participation meeting for the electronic identity and trust infrastructure of the Swiss government. My name is Rolf Rauschenbach. I'm the communications officer, and it is my pleasure and honor to lead you through this session. Today I am here with Jonas. He is a system architect with the Federal Office for Informatics and Telecommunications. And we will go through the topics that we have been presenting just 2 hours ago in German and in French in quite some detail. Now we will provide you with a so-called executive summary, and we hope that it will be interesting to you. You see here that you can find the slides on GitHub, also in the French and German version. And I would like to add that the English version that is available on GitHub is more extensive than the slides that we are showing you now. We have cut out a few because we want to really focus just on the main part. So don't get confused if you download this English presentation already now. That as a first note. Now, what are we going to talk about? After my welcome address, I will give you a brief update on where we are in terms of the legislation and also an outlook where we are heading to. Then, obviously, the main topic of today is public beta, our test infrastructure that we have launched just a week ago. There, Jonas will provide you with quite some technical details, also some information on the onboarding process. I will talk about the beta ID, this credential that is available on this infrastructure, and I will also give you an overview on what we do in terms of open source in that context. That's basically it. In the end, you can obviously ask questions, or even during our session, we want to have it as relaxed as possible. I was informed that we are not hundreds of people in the call, so we don't have to be too formal in that respect. A few more general remarks. As always, the session is recorded and will be published on YouTube shortly. And with regards to questions, I mentioned already, you're more than welcome to ask questions at any time. But we would like to insist on the fact that normally the idea is that you would ask questions relating to the topics we are presenting today, not just any general questions, which are obviously also valid. But there we believe that on our website, on YouTube, and on GitHub, you should find already quite a lot of questions. I should say also the answers to your questions. So please consult these resources. If you have a question which is relevant to everybody relating to the topics of today, mainly relating to public beta, feel free to ask the question directly via microphone. We are not able to have a look at or monitor the chat and present to you in the same time. So the chat is open, you can write, but don't expect any reaction to it. And I also would like to add that our session is a session for information, not for discussion. Obviously, one can have political opinions on what we do. That is absolutely fine, but it is not the moment here today to address these political considerations. Other platforms and other circumstances are more apt for that. Thank you for your understanding in that respect. So, as I mentioned, the first point is the legislation. Here, where are we and what is going to happen next? Already in the last participation meeting, we mentioned the Parliament has passed the eID Act just before Christmas, actually on December the 20th. So soon after, in January, the law was published in the Federal Bulletin, and with that, the 100-day period where people can collect signatures to trigger a optional referendum has started. We are still in this delay. It goes until Easter. I can also mention that there are a few groups who have decided to try to trigger such a referendum. It is their constitutional right. We are not going to opine on that in any fashion or manner. We are here to inform. We are here to answer questions. So what is going to happen next in terms of legislation? So as I mentioned, the end of this period for collecting signatures is officially on April the 19th, but this is Saturday on Easter, so nobody will work on that day. So the hand-in of these signatures will take place on Tuesday after Easter, that is the 22nd. Currently, the legal team of our program is working very intensively on the ordinance of the EID Act. We hope that we can start the public consultation still before the summer break, and anybody is more than welcome to opine and provide feedback on the draft version of this ordinance then. So get ready for that. Should the collection of signatures be successful, meaning that more than 50,000 or 50,000 signatures have been collected, then we obviously would have a vote on the new EID law. Depending on how fast this is going to be decided, that vote will take place either in September on 28th or then in November on November 30th. And we hope, the Federal Council hopes, obviously, that the EID law can enter into force. That would take place earliest in the second half of next year, 26, so in the third quarter of 26, if everything goes well. And by that time, we also want to be ready in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technology, and that is why we are already now launching public beta to start testing all these systems. But before we get to public beta, one more item. I'm happy to announce that we have just published 3 additional job vacancies for ICT consultants in the context of the EID ecosystem, both a role that is more linked to marketing activities and the other one which is a bit more technical with regard to the integration into the ecosystem. And then we are also looking somebody who can help us in terms of the scouting of the technologies and on how to move forward in terms of interoperability. You're all more than welcome to send us your CV. We are very much looking forward to getting your CVs and welcoming 3 new colleagues. I can assure you that you would get a very interesting and exciting job. Somebody asked me already on LinkedIn, I guess it was an English-speaking person, what are the language requirements for this job? So you need to speak 2 official languages from the point of view Switzerland, meaning you have to be fluent either in German, French, or Italian, or I should say in 2 of these 3 languages. Plus, we also expect that you speak well English. And obviously, there are other more technical requirements to fulfill in order to get this job. Okay, so much on the legislation and also on these job postings. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn or by email if you have a question regarding these jobs before you actually hand in your CV. Now, in the official big participation meeting, we've had Serge Guignard. He's the Vice Director of my office, the Federal Office of Justice, who made a short welcome note to the public, commemorating, celebrating this huge milestone, the launch of public beta. He has already left, and I just would like to stress the point that for us, the Swiss Confederation, the launch of public beta is really very important to learn, both just by doing ourselves the whole stuff to see how all things operate, where we still have to improve. That is one motivation. Another motivation is that we would like to get feedback from you. Obviously, this is the initial implementation. It is not yet the perfect version. A lot of to-dos is already on our list, but most probably you will have good ideas to even further improve it. So we really would like to invite you to give us feedback. That is the second point. And the third point is we do that not just to build nice technology or something like that. We do it to build up an ecosystem. And an ecosystem needs you as users, as potential verifiers, as potential issuers. And the faster we start this process, the better and the more diverse this ecosystem will be. So these are main motivations for doing so. Obviously, we also believe that being transparent, publishing stuff open source and so on, can create trust in what we do and so on. So that was mainly the content of this welcome address by our Vice Director. Now let's get a bit more concrete, and for that I'm happy to hand over now to Jonas, who will give you a very brief overview on the technical aspects and details of public beta and also how you can onboard mainly as an issuer and a verifier, obviously also as a user, but that is really rather simple. You simply download the app and then you follow the instructions there. So he will mainly talk about how to talk. He will mainly talk to you as potential verifier and issuer. Please.
Thanks, Rolf. So first of all, maybe to give a quick overview about what's included in the public beta. So we have the wallet. Rolf already mentioned it. You can just download it in the stores and can use it. We have some generic issue and verify components. These are components that you can just use to execute either the issuer or the verifier role. And we also have the two registries, the base registry and the trust registry. Base registry for all the identifiers in the ecosystem, and the trust registry to save your identity in the system, to make you a trusted actor in the system. And here on the arrows, we also see the technical points for all of that. Maybe it's quite familiar to you. Nothing really changed. So we are still using the OpenID protocols. So we have the OpenID for VCI for issuance and the OpenID for VP for verification. We are using SD.VC for the VC format. We are still using DITS for our base registry and the token status list, which is a really easy variant of status list where you can save revocations and other status information. And for the trust registry, we have the Twist Trust protocol. It's an own specification by us. It's pretty simple. If you want to know more about that one, you can just check it out in our GitHub. There's a page for that where you can have an input and just read it. But yeah, it's pretty simple and not really complex. So there are some requirements for you to act in the system, mainly if you want to be an issuer or verifier. But yeah, in the end, you just need an email, and then you can create an account there. So yeah, it's not really a requirement. You just need an email, and that's it. You can create an account. And
maybe just let me step in very quickly. There are two different versions, the CH login and AGOF. The CH login is a logging solution that has been up and running and provided by the federal government already since quite a long time. And this CH login will be phased out rather soon and will be replaced by AGOF. But for the purpose of onboarding to public beta, as you mentioned, an email is enough. It's a self-declared login mechanism. So also, if you are from abroad, feel free. You're more than welcome. No restrictions here.
Yeah, and I think, that's really what we want to say. Anyone can take part there. We don't have restrictions. You can use it from outside of Switzerland. You just need an email, and then you can check it out and test it. So now if you want to be an issuer or verifier in the system, you need to do a small onboarding to onboard yourself on our registries. So a little bit more complicated is the onboarding to the base registry. There you need to register in the portal. It's an application by us. You need to create an organization, so a group for all your data. And then you can really start to upload your identifier, so your DIT, to our system. And you also after uploading your identifier, you can create status list and whatever you need in the system to use it. And then, yeah, you're done with the onboarding on the base registry. Optionally, you can also onboard on the trust registry if you want to do that. And there you just need to provide us a name, and then we will onboard you to the trust registry. Just as a remark, in the public beta, or currently, we don't really check the data. So everyone can be trusted in the ecosystem. So if there's someone trusted, maybe don't trust them. But of course, that will change in the future, where we also check all the data, and then we can be really sure that is the actor that he claims to be. Important, it's required that you have some technical understanding to do the onboarding. It's not too much detail, but yeah, like basic understanding in technical things helps a lot. And now this was really high level. Please check out the cookbooks. Here you will see the link, and the cookbook is really step-by-step instructions how you need to do it. Like, you will find all the links you need and what you need to do. Yeah, just try it out and use the cookbooks. It's a lot easier than just trying it. So yeah, use the cookbooks in the end. And for the issue and verifier, I already mentioned it. They are part of public beta, and we want to have an easy access for issuers and verifiers. And that means in the end on GitHub you will find Docker images that you can just use and run it on your system. There are also examples that you can use, so you can really, with just examples, you can issue a VC or verify it. And of course, everything is compatible with the swiyu wallet. And also here the same, you will find some cookbooks to give you an instruction on how to set up these components. And the last part is the wallet. Wolf already mentioned it. Here you also see the QR code that you can use to download it. Feel free to download it, try it out, and give us feedback. So in the wallet you will find a link to a small survey that you can answer. It helps us to get feedback from all the users. And yeah, then you can use the wallet to issue yourself a VC to verify something, or to use the credentials that Wolf will now present.
Thank you. So, you know, the public beta, the way Jonas has presented it now, would be like a highway without any cars. And obviously quite nice to look at, but really not quite useful. And to, you know, somehow push a little bit the interest of this whole thing, we have decided to provide you with a beta ID. A beta ID is, from a technical and semantic point of view, the equivalent of the electronic identity that we are planning to issue once the law has entered into force. But obviously this is not yet the case, so that is why it is a beta ID. It is just a test credential. It has no legal value whatsoever. In order to do so, we have developed a beta credential service. You see here the URL, bcs.admin.ch. This is this platform from where you can issue to yourself a beta ID. You can then also on the same platform verify it, and you can also revoke it from this platform. And here it is very important to say this is for public beta. Obviously the productive system and procedures will be totally different. You will definitely not be able to issue an EID yourself. That will be the responsibility and the privilege of the Federal Office of Police, FEDPOL. So this is a simplification in order to allow you and us to test different procedures. Okay, so a bit more details on this beta ID. As I mentioned, from a technical point of view, it is as the EID, with the same attributes and so on. Also the same technical specifications. There is also already a certain holder binding taking place. Both depending on the device, it is a hardware binding or otherwise a software binded credential that we issue, but you are able to decide what kind of attributes or what the content of your attributes shall be. we provide you with 2 templates, one for Helvetia and the other one for Mako. These 2 characters are already giving us company since quite some time, but you also can decide to issue a Mickey Mouse or a James Bond or whatever electronic identity or beta ID, I should say, with the specific attributes that you deem necessary or which are relevant for your test case in order to integrate into other test systems that you have already online. So that is for the beta ID. And obviously, again, you can say, well, it's nice to have the beta ID, but then how can I use the beta ID? And there, at the moment, I must admit, there is not a long list of use cases that we can already publish. We hope that you in the ecosystem will start to use the generic issuer and verifier to issue other credentials and also to have use cases where this beta ID can be presented in order to do some transaction on your test systems. We are in the process of preparing a very specific use case, which in the context of the electronic health record, in relation also with AGOV, that we will report on sometimes later this year. But there, really, now it is your challenge. We encourage you very much to use public beta and become a verifier and a issuer. There are a few restrictions that need to be mentioned. As I said already, it is a purely test ID. It has absolutely no legal value. Also, the fact that one attribute is the HAV number, so the social security number, does not mean that private companies can use this. Legally, this social security number is only for public services, so don't get too crazy about that one. Also be aware that the QR codes that we provide have a relatively short time span. So if you prepare a demo or something, don't work with screenshots, work with the real thing. Also for you who are concerned with privacy, the data that you put in to issue your beta ID will not be stored in any place. We will delete that immediately once your beta ID has been issued. I think we said it already, but it's really important to state once more. Public beta is the initial implementation, and it needs still quite some, not only polishing, but also additional work. We have quite a long log or to-do list on our side. We expect, and we have already received some feedback from the community to add further stuff to it. And this is also the case with the beta ID. So, for example, the deep link is not yet a functionality that is provided in the context of beta ID. So at the moment, you can only work with a QR code that will come soon. Also, when it comes to the whole styling and translation stuff, there we work with OCA, the overlay capture architecture. There again, not everything is yet implemented. That will follow in the next few weeks and months. Please be patient with us. We are working on it, and we also are planning to publish the full schema description on the interoperability platform that is provided by the federal government. It has this very funny name, I14Y, 14 for the 14 letters of interoperability. Anyway, so these are some next steps, and further will come for sure. But we hope that this will be some fun to you, to download the app, to issue beta ID, to verify it, to revoke it, to play around, and then directly from the wallet you can click on a feedback link, and you will get to a simple form where you can provide us with your compliments and also with your critique or other suggestions. Okay, before we finish off, a few more comments on open source. Here, the overall presentation which has been made by André Kunz, who is our open source community manager. What is structured as follows. First of all, very briefly, how is our development process structured currently? What is the consequence of going open source for us as an EID program? Then what is the license we are publishing our source? Then something on GitHub and our vision for the swiyu ecosystem to finish off. So here you see in this red box a traditional internal closed development process of software development. We have decided that currently we continue working internally as is, but we will publish on a regular basis snapshots, normally after each sprint, and then after each iteration a new version. So you will not constantly see what we are doing, but you will get these snapshots. At least for the moment, that will be the way how we operate the development process. Obviously, this means some additional work. We have to clean up a little bit our code. We have to dissolve internal dependencies. We have to remove secrets. But we believe that this is an important investment, not only to have good code, but also to have code that is useful for you, that is well documented, so that you then can work with this and be productive with it. All the components of the trust infrastructure are open source. So all the elements Jonas has presented to you, the holder, both iOS and Android, but also the generic issuer and a number of other elements which relate to that. The same on the verifier side, and obviously the registries, the base registry and the trust registry. All those of you who are following us already for quite some time know that we are active on GitHub also since almost 3 years, I believe. We have come to the conclusion that our initial GitHub organization got a bit outdated, a bit clustered, a bit too cumbersome and complicated. And instead of rearranging everything and so on, we decided, let's just leave that alone, let's freeze it and start anew. So we have now a new swiyu organization where we start from fresh, which has a little bit more simple structure, and we hope that it is also useful to you. You will there also find all the different technical documentations, not only in the traditional GitHub look, but also in a more readable version, both the technical documentation, but also the cookbooks, the roadmap, and so on. Let me finish with where we would like to get. So as I mentioned, at the moment, our internal process of developing code remains closed, and we publish these snapshots. But we believe that at a later stage, we don't know yet when, but we hope that we get there soon, that we can open this development process totally, so that you constantly see what we are doing. And then, obviously, not only that, but also that then the community can contribute with different streams, with our enterprise stream for, let's say, the stable stuff, and then innovation, testing, and so on can also be done by you, the community. We are really very much looking forward to getting there, but please be still a little bit patient until we get there. And I would just like to summarize basically the whole effort for public beta. Obviously, it is so that we learn, because we are aware of the fact that we don't know yet everything, but it is really also to start this ecosystem build-up. And I believe that now with public beta, with the Beta ID, there are at least 2 balls in your field, which you can start playing with. And for an overall, from an overall perspective, this new, more transparent and open way of working is new to the federal government. And I can assure you, there are lots of other projects and federal offices and departments quite curious how we manage to do all this stuff, and also how much feedback and how much value we generate with you. So everybody who believes in open source should really be motivated to contribute to our swiyu ecosystem, not only because of the swiyu ecosystem, but also to really show how important and valuable open source and collaboration across, not only within the government, but also with the community can be. And in that sense, I would like to finish our English executive summary. Jonas, is there something you would like to add?
No, your final statement was perfect.
Okay, great. Well, then I would simply say, do you have any question? Please open the microphone and you can ask them directly to us. It can be related to what we have just presented with regard to the legislation and public beta, but also if you have a general question which you would like to raise, feel free. We have still a little bit of time and can also address that. That doesn't seem to be the case as of yet, but I would simply say, obviously, this effort is an effort by the Swiss government, mainly for Switzerland. We are definitely not launching this whole thing to colonize the world with swiyu, but we are more than welcome to get also feedback from abroad. We know that there are quite a lot of people having a close eye on us, and we are looking forward to get feedback also from you abroad, because in the end of the day, we would like to become interoperable, not at day one, that is not feasible, but as soon as possible. And in that sense, it is really important that we stay in touch, and that is also why we do these English executive summaries, so that you are always up to date. So again, is there a question? That doesn't seem to be the case. Well, then I would like to thank all of you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to meeting you online soon again. Have a nice evening and take care. Bye-bye.